I just figured this would be a great video to actually kind of talk about things I wish I knew before I got into trucking. Utah, exactly. But now we're trying to find the entrance to this airport, and I think I took the wrong way. But this is the fun part, trucking, man. Going to new places. It's either an amazing situation when you find the entrance on the first try, and you don't got to worry about, backing out or getting the truck stuck or something like that. But yeah, that's hold on, I'm trying to see where this entrance is at. But just like I do in all my videos, you guys are seeing it fresh as it goes. If I get lost, like, you guys get lost with me. But yeah, I'm trying to find this airport entrance. They were telling me it's right here, but I don't think I took the right route. They said there was like a dirt route or something like that. Dirt road, but apparently there isn't. So yeah, we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna get there without. I can't do a U-turn. Yeah, missed the entrance. Oh man, this sucks. All right, guys, stay tuned. I will check back in with y'all when we find this entrance. All right, so we back. And I think I found it. I don't know. We're about to find out in about a minute. But yeah, there's a few back roads I had to go through. But I think this is the airport. It's some small airport that we're going to. So we'll see if this is the route. If it isn't the route, then I'll just find a way to turn around in this grass, whatever, or this dirt, and then we'll just go back the other way. So yeah, let's see what's up. But yeah, apparently that's the airport right there. There's some helicopters there. And let's see what's up. I see planes, I see helicopters, so it's gotta be the right place, right? Apparently they're doing some construction here at the airport, so let's see Bella off here, and I think this is it right here. Let's see. Let's see. Let us in. Not your usual delivered kind of spot, but in trucking, you gotta be prepared for these type of situations. So let's see. I don't even see where the construction is going on over here. This looks like it's not the right spot. But let me call real quick to figure it out. Alright, so that wasn't the right way. So I called the guy, and he said he would come out and give me directions. So I think that's him right here in the front in that pickup truck. So we're gonna follow him to the site, and yeah. Close enough. I'd say like I was a B and a half. made it. And the guy that was supposed to contact, that's his truck right there. So I'm following him where he wants me to drop, I guess where he wants me to park the container at. And we'll see what he says here in a bit. We got a crane over here, so I wonder what they're gonna have me do. Interesting. Let's see what's up. So we're gonna have to unstrap up top here on both sides. And oh, there you go. He's got the ladder. Are you gonna put it over here so we can unstrap here? All right, here we go. So they want me to park about 5 feet next to this crane, and then they're gonna take it from the top. This container actually is one of, I've never seen a container like this before, but apparently we don't unload from the back. We're gonna unload from the top. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that happens. I'll probably get it on tape for you guys. But yeah, let me back in next to this crane real quick, and then we'll go from there. All right. Keep going? All right. All right, we'll stop right here. All right, let's go check out and see what they're gonna do next. I've never dealt with this before.
We're quick to find out.
It's the first for everything. Yeah.
He's bringing it over so you can untie it.
All right, cool. And then I guess we're gonna unstrap there. All right, he's gonna use the lift right now to try to, so we can get on top here. This crane.
All the way to the opposite corner. Get it, all the hand
they have to pretty much unstrap the lines on both sides there, and then we're pretty much going to be unloading with this crane from the top of the container, which is pretty cool. I didn't even know they had containers like this. You learn things new in trucking every day, literally. Thank goodness they know what they're doing, because I've never dealt with this trailer before. I told them my job was just to bring it over here. So I'm gonna let them handle that, and once that's done and they unload and then load, you know, obviously strap that back up, I'm done. I'm pretty much done for the week too. I'm gonna probably have once I get back to Vegas, I'm gonna probably just do a 34-hour reset and get my home time, get some home time. I've been running on recaps for the last 6-7 days, and I haven't done a reset in a while, so I think I'm gonna do one tomorrow. And yep, so but yeah, let's just finish up here unloading, see how they get this done, and then we done, we out. We still gotta unstrap this side right here. All right, let's check back in. All right, so we gotta get these bars out. Tarp all over to the side. Now they gotta just take the rest of the bars off, and then they can start using the crane to unload. It's crazy. Out here in Bum F, Utah. Alright, hopefully this don't take too long, because I'm trying to go home. Keep on trucking. That's crazy. finished up. That's all the pieces right there. Didn't take too long to unload. It's probably like an hour. Just tarping it back now, tarping the container back up now. Finishing up. Shouldn't take that much longer. And then we can hit the road. Yay. Made it to well, we didn't make it home, but because I ran out of time on my clock. Unfortunately, that trip today, because I didn't know where I was going when we got to that construction yard, I wasted a lot of time on my drive clock. If I didn't waste a lot of that time, I probably would have made it. I'm about like an hour and some change from home, but it's cool. Found a nice area here to park, safe haven like we call it, and I'll just call it a night. And yeah, we'll just be home tomorrow. I just wanted to make it home because, like I said, tomorrow is crazy. Tomorrow, I mean, when I post this video, it's probably not going to be accurate. So, like, I don't want you guys to feel like, what do you mean tomorrow is New Year's now? Like, when I'm videotaping this is actually the day before New Year's Eve. But yeah, I'm just gonna post it later on this month. But it's crazy how it's already gonna be 2025, and it's wild because, especially, it's my 2-year trucking anniversary, and it's crazy. 2 years ago is when I officially got my CDL. So it's I'm not gonna get emotional, but like, it's just unreal because I didn't realize I could actually make it to 2 years. There's so many times throughout this journey where I thought I was gonna quit, not make it. I thought, that was it. I was gonna get fired, or when you're a rookie and you're just starting in this industry, it's not a regular 9 to 5. So you quickly learn that, yeah, if you don't get things straight, you're gonna be out of it. And I actually had a lot of friends in trucking school that started with me that are not driving trucks right now. Either they got let go, they got fired, or they got their anxiety. They had too much anxiety. They quit. So many other stories, and that was almost about to be me. But I hung in there, and here we are. 2 years later, I'm still here. So, and I love it. I actually, as the years have gone by, I've enjoyed this lifestyle, because trucking, again, is not a career. I mean, it is a career. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Trucking is a career, but it is not a 9 to 5. It's not a job. It's a lifestyle. If you treat it like a job, you're not gonna last long in this industry, unfortunately. So yeah. And so on that note, again, I don't want this video to be too long, but on that note of it being, 2025, tomorrow is actually gonna be New Year's Eve, and we're gonna start a new year. I just figured this would be a great video to actually kind of talk about things I wish I knew before I got into trucking, right? If I could talk to my younger self 2 years ago when I was just starting, or just getting out of trucking, just getting into trucking school, or just getting out of trucking school, I'm sorry, once I got my CDL, what advice or what tips would I give myself? And I feel like someone who, if you are right now thinking about getting into trucking, or you already got your CDL and you're about to start your journey as a trucker, this probably will be a good video for you. If you have been driving for a while, again, I don't know it all. I don't consider myself a veteran. I still consider myself a rookie. But again, these are tips that I personally think would benefit anybody thinking about getting into this career industry. So yeah, these are tips I would give myself if I would have given myself 2 years ago. And if you are new and thinking about getting into trucking, hopefully this video benefits you. I actually made a list because I have the worst memory in the world. And so I just want to make sure I'm not missing any points. But the first point I would give is have a plan before you start and execute it. What does that mean? Before you decide to get into trucking, make sure you have a plan. Are you gonna go to trucking school? Are you gonna, like, how are you gonna pay for it? All those things are things that you need to make sure you are planning properly. Because if not, you're gonna either be frustrated, you're either gonna pay too much money, or you're end up gonna be owing money. A lot of people I know are still paying their trucking school I can't talk. Are still paying for their trucking school because they didn't stay with that trucking school. A lot of trucking schools offer to pay for your trucking school, right? But a lot of people, what they do is they go to those trucking schools, and then as soon as they get their CDL, they leave, and they're stuck with that loan instead of staying for that year or whatever it is, and then the school pays for it. So, like, just make sure you got a plan, right? And so you won't regret it, and you'll be straight. You won't be stressed out. The second thing I would say is don't expect to make a lot of money. I thought when I was getting to trucking school, as soon as I got my CDL, I was going to be making that money. Nah, you're not. And unfortunately, a lot of people think that, and a lot of people are told, and again, this is my personal experience, some people will make that money. Obviously, there's different situations. There's some people that, you know, they have jobs waiting for them as soon as they got their CDL, or they know a company that will hire them right out of school, and they get paid decent money. Kudos to you. If that was your situation, great. That wasn't my situation, and I was forced to actually work for a mega carrier. And unfortunately, mega carriers, I don't like to talk too much crap about them, but unfortunately, they're the only ones who are going to hire you out of trucking school. Most drivers will, like, if you're a rookie truck driver, you're not going to get a job from the ones who, the trucking companies that pay decent money, that pay the good money, are not going to hire you right out of school because you're a high risk. Unfortunately, if you've got 2 years or less of experience, you're considered a high risk as a truck driver, and a lot of companies unfortunately don't hire you right out of trucking school. So because of that, the mega carriers will take you, and you know you'll have a job, but unfortunately mega carriers don't pay decent money, and they're going to try to, you know, use you as much as they can, unfortunately. So that's one thing that I wish I knew before I started, because when I did, you know, start, I thought as soon as I got my CDL, I was going to make money. But unfortunately, that is not the case. So be prepared to know that at least after your first year, you're not going to make that much money. But that will be the year for you to kind of get your experience under your belt, and then, you know, eventually, the more experience you get, the more you've mastered what it is to drive a truck, then you can start, you know, working that clock and knowing how to maneuver in the industry to make that money that you're trying to make. But don't expect to make a lot of money. Next point is, trucking isn't a job, it's a lifestyle. That's something I had to I slowly understood after my first 3 months in the being on my own. I came from a 9-to-5 corporate job. I quit that job, decided to get my CDL. I spoke a lot about this in my first couple of videos if you've been following my journey. I was in the corporate world. Eventually, I got tired of it. I got my CDL. And when I got my CDL, I treated it like a 9-to-5. And unfortunately, that's not how you got to treat it. You got to treat it like a lifestyle. If you treat this job like a 9-to-5, you're going to struggle, and you're going to get frustrated, and you're going to end up quitting. And I learned that the hard way. After my 3 months of being out here on my own, I realized I gotta treat this like a lifestyle. And so yeah, don't treat it like a job. Treat it like a lifestyle. Know that you're gonna be alone for the first couple months or even a year of doing trucking. A lot of these mega carriers send you out on your own, OTR, all 48 states. So you'll be in the middle of nowhere, some state you've never been to. So be prepared to be alone for a good amount of time when you're in trucking. You also miss a lot of birthdays. You're gonna miss anniversaries. You're gonna miss a lot of family events. You're gonna miss a lot of important things in your, like, family events in your life that unfortunately you got to be prepared for it. Because when you're out there, let's just say you're doing OTR, you're in the middle of the road, some state that's like what, 12 hours away, 20 hours away, sometimes even on the other side of the coast. Like, you live on the West Coast and they send you to the East Coast, or you live on the East Coast, they send you to the West Coast. It's gonna take a while before you get home. So there's a events going on in between that, you can't make all those events, unfortunately. And if you try to, you're not going to make money. So it's going to be one of those things where you're going to have to make a sacrifice, right? So be prepared to miss a lot of events and important things in your life while you're starting this trucking journey. Eventually, after that, you can kind of make adjustments. You could probably switch and become a local driver. You know, like I said, once you get experience, companies will hire you, right? And you can become a local driver, make a little bit more money, or be a regional driver, be home every other day. Like I am. I'm a regional driver. Now I'm home either every day or every other day or every week. So I'm able to have a work-life balance. But you don't get that right away. And it's not a 9 to 5. Remember that. It's not a 9 to 5. Next point would be always be a student. Always be prepared to learn. Put your pride aside. You're not going to know everything. Always be a sponge and take it in. You know, when I was first starting off, every time I was at a truck stop or pumping gas, pumping fuel, right? Pumping fuel, diesel, I would always ask truckers around me that are like, you know, those mega truckers or, you know, super truckers, hey, like, how do you do this? How do you do that? Or what do you do when you're in this situation? What do you do in this situation? How do you maximize your clock? How do you use recaps? You know, if you don't know what recaps are, recap hours, that's huge. A lot of things that you can kind of learn and take, and truckers are always ones to yap. Some will not, you know, there's exceptions. Some truckers, they like to keep it to themselves, but the majority of truckers I've asked for help, they're always one to help. Or if they see you struggling, they're gonna help you. You'll never know everything, right? There's always room to learn. In trucking, there's so many things. I don't know. You'll never know everything when it comes to trucking. If you think you do, then that's where you're making your first mistake. Next point would be pre-trips and post-trips are non-negotiable. And I learned that the hard way because, yeah, right out of school, they teach you in school to do pre-trips, right? Not necessarily post-trips, but I do both just because it benefits to know what's going on with your equipment before you drive and after you drive, right? I got comfortable after 6 months of driving. I started to just skip that. You're not supposed to, right? But, you know, sometimes you wake up, you're about to miss your appointment, and you're like, you know what, let me just go. No, like, pre-trips are always going to save your life, post-trips as well. And it's not just checking your equipment, it's planning your trip, making sure that you know where the entry points are and the exit points are for where you're picking up and where you're delivering, making sure you're taking a truck route. There's so many things you got to make sure that make sure where you're gonna stop and take your break, your DOT break, where you're gonna fuel. All that's gonna be is gonna help you in the long run if you have a proper pre-trip and a post-trip. So yeah, they're non-negotiable. Don't skip pre-trips and don't skip post-trips. Next point I would say is get a trucking GPS or some type of app. There are trucking apps that help you, make sure that you're not going on the wrong roads. You're not going on areas where there's a low clearance bridge. You're not going to a street that has a dead end and now you're stuck because you got to do a U-turn. And a lot of companies don't want you doing U-turns. And if they catch you doing a U-turn, that's your job right there. So to avoid being in those type of scary situations, having a proper GPS, trucking GPS, not regular. I use Google Maps and Apple Maps when I'm on the freeway. Like that's usually because it gives you like the quickest way to get somewhere. But as soon as I get off a ramp or I go somewhere, I'm not counting on that Apple Maps and Google Maps to go where I need to go. I'm using my trucking GPS to make sure I know, okay, this is the proper route to use. Because again, you don't want to be in those scary situations. I've been in those scary situations a few times, and it's not fun. So yeah, always have proper GPS, trucking GPS. That will save your life. My next point, this is one of the most important points that I would give myself, is speed is not your ally. Speed is not your ally. Take your time. I know a lot of companies like to rush drivers to get to their destination and their appointments and all that, and we have sometimes some tight schedules, but at the end of the day, no load is worth your life or someone else's life. If you're tired, you can't make it, tell your dispatch, hey, I can't make it all the way, I'm tired, I'm gonna park for the day, let's see if we can reschedule it or whatever. But at the end of the day, take your time. You don't want to rush to get anywhere, and you don't want to be speeding down exit ramps or when you're getting off a ramp or going into a ramp, you don't want to be speeding on those ramps. That's exactly where a lot of trucks flip over. You don't want to be. There's been times where I've rushed. I'm gonna use myself as an example. There's been times where I rushed. I thought my electrical lines and my air lines were attached, and they weren't. I detach from the trailer, and all of a sudden I ripped my air line, I ripped my electrical lines. That now I have to sit there and wait for someone to come fix it. That's wasting time. See, if I had taken the time to make sure that was detached, or make sure, especially, I would have not had that situation. Also, I mean, this has never happened to me, knock on steering wheel. I've never dropped a trailer. It's happened. It almost happened, but I caught myself before it happened. But make sure your landing gear is down when you're dropping a trailer. You're doing a dropping hook. Sometimes a dropping hook may seem so simple. You're just dropping a trailer and you're leaving, but sometimes we forget that we didn't put the landing gear down, right? So before I get back in my truck, I'm always doing a roundabout on my truck to make sure that the landing gear is down, my air lines and my electrical lines are detached, and my equipment is properly detached before I drop the trailer. Because if not, you're gonna be that guy that drops a trailer, and you don't want to be that guy. Trust me, it's not fun to be that guy, and it's gonna cost you your job, and it's gonna be a very expensive situation if that happens to you. What else? Slow down when you're going downhill, right? I see a lot of drivers, for some reason, they going 70 plus down a hill. Why? That is so dangerous. You're trusting your brakes, I get it, but sometimes brakes fail, and you don't want to be that driver that's stuck in the emergency, I don't know what you call it, those things that catch trucks. There's like an emergency ramp that you could take if your brakes fail. You don't want to be that guy, right? So yeah, speed is not your ally. You want to slow down whenever you're doing anything, and take your time. When you're backing, take your time. There's no need to rush. Take your time. If you feel like you can't make that backing, you gotta pull up a few times, right? I know in trucking school they teach you to just pull up once or twice. That's trucking school. Once you're out in the real world, you can pull up as many times as you want. I pull up as many times as I can until I get it right, right? And always watch your tandems when you're making a turn. There is times where I was getting comfortable and I'm taking a turn and I'm not watching my tandems, and I'm gonna say it. I'm admitting it now. I've taken out a few signs in the beginning of my career, and I'm not proud of saying it, but if you don't watch your tandems, you're gonna take out street signs, you're gonna take out poles, you're gonna damage other people, customers, equipment, or customer buildings, or whatever it is. You don't want to be that person. So always watch your tandems when you're taking a turn. As soon as you're taking that turn, watch your tandem. Are you gonna clear that turn? If not, back up and go in wider or figure it out. But if you're going fast, you're not gonna be, and you're not watching your tandems, you're gonna create a situation. So take your time. Speed is our biggest enemy, and you don't want to be that person that is making a stupid mistake just because you decide to go fast, right? So that's one of the most important points I would give myself, is take your time. Don't rush. No load is more important than your life, right? If you can't make it to the destination on time, just contact your dispatch and communicate with them and let them know what's going on, and that's it. And at the end of the day, the load will get there when it gets there, right? Next point, if you're unsure or don't know what to do, ask, and make sure you figure out what to do before you move the equipment, right? If you're somewhere and you're not sure what to do, don't be afraid to park the truck, put your hazards, and ask for help. Or make sure you know exactly where you need to park your truck before you do the maneuver. You don't want to be in that situation where you think you're supposed to be going this way, but you were supposed to go that way, and now you're stuck. You got to do a U-turn, or you're blocking somebody, or there's always situations when you go to customers where it's tight, there's other trucks waiting. So you want to make sure you know what's going on. Like, make sure you get the proper instructions from the security guard or the customer when you're going to any place where you're picking up and delivering, right? Because sometimes you go to these places and they be talking so fast. Oh, go here, go that, slide your tent, and you miss steps, and then you're stuck. You don't know what to do. So just make sure you know what you're doing before you do it. And if you're unsure, don't worry about it. If someone's honking at you, there's going to be truckers that are impatient. Hey, you're going to wait. I'm sorry. Make sure you know what you're doing before you move the truck, because if not, you're going to put yourself in a worse situation. And my next point I would say is practice, practice, practice. Whenever you got free time, practice. This is one of the biggest advices. One of my mentors, or my trainer, when I was training, when I was on the road after trucking school, they put you on a truck with a trainer for a month. I would never forget it. He always, every time we had extra time in between deliveries or pickups, he would always take a spot where he would always take me to a truck stop, or take me to a spot where I could practice backing, right? Because backing is by far going to be the hardest thing to do when it comes to truck. Driving the truck is easy, right? It's the backing that's always going to be the hardest thing. So you're going to have to practice as much as you can, especially in tight spots, how to back the truck. And the more you do it, you'll be more comfortable, and it won't feel like it's hard. It'll be like a second language, right? And you won't feel like anxiety and all this when you're in a situation where you need to back. So take the time, practice, and master the craft, right? Next point I would say is get a mentor. It's kind of like what I just said about my mentor that I had. Well, he was my mentor, and I had a few other truck drivers that I met throughout my journey in these last 2 years that I got their information. And anytime I have a question about something that I'm unsure, I always call them, hey, like, what do you do in this situation, right? And they'll guide you, you know? Find someone that's like that you can kind of, you know, and then you build these type of friendships, and they'll be your best friends actually to this day. My mentor and my and my trainer to this day are one of my best, I'm not saying best friends, but like anytime I call, if they either pick up, and if they don't pick up, they call me back right away, or figure out like, hey, what's up? You know, they're always available for me, right? So get somebody that can coach you or help and be coachable, right? You're not going to know everything, like I said in the past. So, you know, try to get somebody to guide you so that you're not in a situation where you're lost or you're making mistakes, right? Because at the end of the day, we want to learn from our mistakes. If you're making mistakes, learn from them, right? And it's a lesson. But obviously, if you have somebody that can help you avoid making those mistakes in the first place, why not have a mentor to help you avoid those mistakes, right? So get a mentor. And the last point I would say, because like I said, there's more points, but I don't want to. I think that we could have 100 points, but my next point, the last and final, is enjoy the ride and embrace the journey, right? It's gonna be a ride. You're gonna have ups, you're gonna have downs, you're gonna mess up sometimes, you're gonna have a great day where you're backing and you're doing great. You're gonna have days where your backing is horrible. There's days where, like yesterday, I backed my trailer and I did a horrible job. It took me forever to back. You're gonna have bad days, but at the end of the day, you just gotta enjoy the journey, right? It's a lifestyle. The more you do it, the better you're gonna get at it. You know, if you get a mentor, if you practice, if you just, you know, if you plan ahead, like I said, pre-trip, make sure you're not skipping your pre-trip and your post-trips, you're gonna have it's all gonna work out at the end of the day. And there's gonna be bad days. If there's a bad day, just move on, right? You had a bad day, we're gonna have a better day tomorrow. That's all it is. And then embrace the journey, right? It's gonna be a journey. I'm 2 years in, and it's crazy how much I've learned and how much how much I've matured in this career, in this lifestyle of being a truck driver. It's taught me so much, right? It's actually made me, I would say, more responsible. I could say before being a truck driver, I wasn't that responsible, and now being a truck driver, I feel like I have to be more responsible, right? Because I'm driving a big rig, and I can cause a lot of damage or kill somebody if I'm not careful, right? So I'm always driving like my grandma's in the car, or somebody that I care about is in the car. Someone's in the truck that I care about, and also I drive very cautious when I'm driving the truck, because at the end of the day, one simple mistake can cost you so much. It can cost you your CDL, it can cost you your life, and it can cost someone else's life. And you don't want to be that truck driver that's responsible for ending someone's life, right? So that's why I always take my time, right? So these are the only points I would say I would leave if I was to give myself. These are the points I would give my younger self if I was to talk to myself and tell myself, hey, this is what you need to do before you get into trucking. Things I wish I would have known before getting into trucking, right? And if this benefited you, great. I hope that this is going to help you become a better truck driver. If you already knew all this, great, no problem. And at the end of the day, everything I said doesn't apply to everybody. I'm basing this off of my personal experience, right? So there's could be other points that are important, but this is just points that kind of stood out to me in my journey, right? So again, I'm gonna leave it at that. I really appreciate all the love and the support you guys have been giving me throughout this journey, throughout these 2 years of being a truck driver, and I'm looking forward to the next 2 years, the next 3 years, the next, whatever how many years I get in this career, in this lifestyle. And I appreciate you guys also for supporting this channel, because like I said, it is slowly growing, and I'm getting a lot of good feedback. I'm getting negative feedback, but all the feedback is great feedback, and I really appreciate it all. And so I hope you guys watched the video all the way to the end, and I hope I see you guys in the next video. If I don't see you in the next video, keep on trucking. Peace.